Welcome to the playthrough video of Dysnomitude. I made this map and I will play through it and also give some commentary whenever I see fit. This little shelf here is intended to show you the function of these green force fields. The props can stand on them, but they don't block the player. There are also some Easter eggs in this map and I intend to spoil them in this video. Here is actually one of the Easter eggs. If you now go back here and try to open this door, it didn't open before, but now it does.
Oh no! Oh no!
One of the challenges you face in making these maps is that the player is not limited in where they're looking, so when something important happens it might be that the player will miss that. Here I purposely used a hallway to make sure that the player is looking that way when the window comes down, so the player is basically guaranteed to notice this. Some of the playtesters tried to use the laser to kill the hunter, which I find a little weird, because you have a gravity gun. But I think some players just don't perceive the gravity gun as something you can kill things with. So I added some more props to helpfully tell the player that they can just use props. All I really had to do was throw a tire at the hunter 2 times and then it died, so it's not so hard. Many playtesters were confused by that button. They pressed it once and then when the button moved all the way there, they would keep trying to press it to try to open that door. But the button doesn't open the door, the button only makes the thing move from here to there. I actually addressed this problem by just making the button quietly remove itself when the player's not looking. You can see that the button is now gone. It's a bit unrealistic, but it deals with the problem. added this little wall here later on just to make the player look in this direction, so the player will hopefully see the force field turning off right there. Otherwise the player would just walk directly like this and just press the button and then not notice the force field. Surprisingly, many of the playtesters didn't even notice that crate, even though it's in plain sight. I guess it kinda blends into the environment. In most of my maps I give the player all the weapons, but in this one I decided to intentionally limit the weapons that the player has. You'll have to deal with having only the crossbow and then later on the revolver also. Both are weapons with which you really have to aim well. Here we have Flappy Melon, one of the weirder parts of this map. Many playtesters had issues with it, so I made it slightly easier. Oh, and I forgot to show you one of the more obscure Easter eggs. It's right here. I don't expect anyone to find that without seeing this video. I think this one is probably the best puzzle in this map. I will sometimes use these battery puzzles, but it's not really a battery puzzle. The battery is just an excuse for the actual puzzle. It's not about finding the battery, it's in plain sight. It's about how you get the battery there. This is basically a more advanced version of a puzzle I had in my previous map, where you had to put a roller mine in a thing like this. But in this one you have to push a battery with the roller mine. This was originally a single map, but I ended up having to split it up into two maps because I ran into the entity limit. You can't have any more than 4096 entities, and I just exceeded that limit, which causes issues. Carrying this turret around is completely optional, but it does make the map easier to beat. Apparently I'm bad at aiming.
Depleted.
This puzzle caused a lot of issues. Sometimes the triggers here would just fail to notice whether the hook was there or not. I found that if the hook falls asleep, then the trigger would just stop detecting it. When I say fall asleep, I mean when a physics prop stops moving, the physics engine will cause it to fall asleep. That is, it will stop making physics calculations for that object until something disturbs it. It's an optimization feature, but it caused issues here, so I actually made a logic timer that wakes up these hooks every 0.07 seconds. That seemed to more or less fix the issue. Also added some sprites here just to tell the player whether or not the hooks are detected. The puzzle now works most of the time, not always. It can still mess up. This place was an idea that I came up with while I was waiting for the bus, which is why you start in a bus stop here. This puzzle here was inspired by the hydraulic press channel.
This button looks extremely dangerous and may attack at any time, so we must deal with it.
The voice you heard there is the actual hydraulic press channel guy. I contacted him and I asked him to do a little voice acting line, and he very nicely did it. I didn't expect a response, but this went better than expected. This little crosshair here was suggested by one of the playtesters. I had to do some fancy stuff to make sure that the player can't just throw the barrels at the targets with the gravity gun. Some playtesters managed to actually somehow make one hit count as multiple hits, which is really mysterious because these are the trigger once entities and they are supposed to only trigger once. So that doesn't really make sense. I have no idea what causes that. There's one more Easter egg, it's right here in this room. Again, this is a very obscure one. You fire a barrel right in that corner and this happens. Sometimes this door will refuse to close behind the player. Let's see if it does. Yep, it didn't close. It is supposed to close. There's really no reason to carry the turret any further, so let's not. This is another puzzle where I use batteries as an excuse for a different puzzle. It required some trickery to make sure that these things can only be opened with exactly the combination given there. For instance, right now I have a box here and here, so if I had made this the simple way, then this would open right now. But I had to do some fancy stuff to make that not happen. You can get yourself stuck in there, so that's how I fixed that problem. Because the only way you can get yourself stuck in there is if you specifically try to do it. It can't happen by accident. This part had some issues with playtesters thinking that there's an RPG somewhere with which they're supposed to kill the gunship. This is because Half-Life 2 basically conditions you into thinking that the RPG is how you kill gunships. I tried to fix this by just adding some signs that show the gunship getting zapped. It would be better if the player would just witness a device like this shooting the gunship at some point, so the player would then learn that these things can kill gunships. But this is a single map and I couldn't really fit anything like that in here, so I decided to just make a sign. If you drop one of those things, it will actually just teleport back. Oh crap, I died. Oh, that's unfortunate. for watching.